Have you ever wondered why some people get others to fall madly in love with them, while you struggle to keep someone interested for more than a week? The difference isn't in their looks or their money, but in their ability to plant a powerful idea, an irresistible future. In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly what to say to make that special someone not only desire you now, but be unable to imagine their life without you. Think about it for a moment. When you meet someone you're attracted to, what happens? Most people make the same mistake. They focus on impressing in the present, telling interesting anecdotes, demonstrating value, finding common ground. But truly, deep connections, the ones that make someone unable to stop thinking about you, happen when you get that person to see you as a fundamental part of their future. As Neil Strauss said, "It's not about who you are now, but who you'll be in their story." The first step to getting someone to imagine a future with you is mastering the art of temporal projection. Neil Strauss explains it perfectly. When you talk about future experiences as if they were inevitable, the other person's mind begins to accept them as reality. This psychological phenomenon creates an invisible bridge between the present and a shared future, generating a sense of accelerated intimacy that few techniques can match. Imagine this. You're on a first date with someone you're really interested in. Instead of typical questions about work or hobbies, you subtly introduce comments like, "Next time we go to that Italian restaurant you mentioned, you should try their tiramisu, it's amazing." Do you notice the difference? You're not asking if there will be a second date. You're presupposing it's inevitable, thereby creating an alternative reality where you two already have an ongoing story. To practice this technique, do the following exercise. Write down 3 sentences containing natural future presuppositions to use in your next conversation. For example, "You'll love it when you meet my friend David. You both have the same sense of humor." Or, "Next time we cook together, I'll show you that trick I learned in Italy." Don't force these phrases. They should emerge organically during the conversation. Have you ever noticed how some people make you feel incredibly special without apparent effort? The key lies in the next level, creating anticipated memories. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. The second crucial element to keep someone thinking about you is the deliberate creation of anticipated memories. Neil Strauss describes it as painting a picture of the future so vivid that the person can already feel, smell, and experience those moments before they happen. This is much more powerful than a simple suggestion because you're anchoring real emotions to experiences that haven't happened yet. Most people don't understand the power of this technique. They settle for talking about the present or remembering the past, but those who master the art of seduction know that imagination is the most fertile territory for creating deep connections. When you describe a shared future experience with sensory details, you're creating an emotional memory before the event even occurs. For example, imagine you're talking to someone about travel. Instead of asking, "Would you like to go to the beach someday?" you might say, "I can perfectly imagine us walking barefoot on that Mexican beach at sunset, with warm water touching our feet, laughing as we try to build the most ridiculous sandcastle, and then having dinner at that small restaurant by the sea where they play live music." Do you feel the difference? You've created an experience so vivid it almost seems like a memory, even though it never happened. Here's a practical exercise for you. The next time you talk to someone you're interested in, select a hypothetical future event and describe it using all the senses. Talk about what you'll see, feel, hear, taste, and smell. Notice how their expression changes as their mind travels to the scenario you've painted. This technique is especially effective when you notice there's initial chemistry, but you want to deepen the connection quickly. Repeat this phrase in your mind before your next important interaction. "I'm not describing possibilities, I'm creating anticipated memories." This mindset will radically change how you communicate. You've probably realized that these techniques aren't manipulative, but ways to accelerate genuine intimacy through shared imagination. But there's something even more powerful you can do. Establish a private language. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. The third element that magnetizes someone toward you is creating a private world through exclusive language. Neil Strauss describes it as establishing a parallel universe where only you two exist, with your own references, jokes, and meanings. This phenomenon creates a sense of complicity and exclusivity that's practically addictive to the human brain. Think about your closest friendships. You probably have inside jokes, nicknames, or references that only you understand. These small pieces of exclusive communication create a powerful bond because they establish a clear distinction between us, those who understand, and them, the rest of the world. When you apply this principle in a romantic context, you're creating a micro-universe where that person feels special, understood, and part of something unique. How do you implement this? Start by identifying fun or meaningful moments in your initial interactions and turn them into recurring references. It can be as simple as calling the cafe where you met our place, or creating a nickname based on something funny that happened. The important thing is that it's authentic and that both of you recognize the origin of that private reference. For example, if during a date they mention they love elephants, you could occasionally send them random elephant photos with messages like, "This one reminded me of you today," or "Do you think this one would approve of our Saturday plan?" This not only shows you were listening attentively, but creates a unique reference point between you that can evolve over time. Do this exercise. Identify 3 special elements from your recent interactions that could become private references. They don't have to be grand. Often the smallest and most specific details create the strongest bonds. What matters is that they're authentic to your shared history. Have you noticed how you feel when someone remembers a small detail you mentioned casually? That feeling of being truly seen and heard is what you're cultivating with these techniques. But to take this connection to the next level, you need to master the art of hypothetical questions, and that's what we'll talk about in the next point. The 4th element for creating an unbreakable bond is the strategic use of future hypothetical questions. As Neil Strauss explains, questions about future scenarios make the mind automatically create that scenario, placing you within it. This technique is particularly effective because it not only makes the person imagine a future with you, but gets them to actively participate in creating that scenario. Most people ask banal questions. What do you do for fun? Or, what's your favorite movie? These questions generate automatic and superficial responses. Future hypothetical questions, on the other hand, activate the imagination and reveal deep values, while also normalizing the idea of a shared future. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like to travel?" you might say, "If we could teleport anywhere tomorrow to spend a perfect day, where would it be and what exactly would we do?" This question not only reveals their travel preferences, but also shows how they visualize an ideal day, what they value in experiences, and most importantly, it places both of you in that shared narrative. Other powerful questions include, "If we lived together someday, what's the strangest thing you'd discover about my daily habits?" Or, "What do you think would be our biggest adventure if we decided to take an unplanned road trip?" These questions are light and can be posed with humor, but they subtly plant the seed of a shared future. Now, an essential exercise. Create 3 hypothetical questions that are relevant to your shared interests. The key is to make them specific, slightly unusual, and formulated in a way that presupposes the naturalness of a future us. Important. These questions should feel like a fun game, not an interrogation about commitment. Repeat this phrase before implementing this technique. Each hypothetical question is an invitation to co-create our imaginary future. This mindset will help you maintain a playful and genuine approach. Have you ever felt that instant connection with someone, as if you've known each other your whole lives? That feeling isn't accidental, and you can deliberately create it through temporal synchronization. And that's what we'll talk about in the next point. The 5th and most powerful element to make someone unable to imagine their life without you is mastering temporal synchronization between past, present, and future. Neil Strauss defines it as weaving narratives that connect your shared history with an inevitable future, creating a sense of destiny. This advanced technique links the experiences you've already shared with those to come, creating a sense of continuity and natural progression. The deepest connections occur when the other person feels their life is intertwined with yours, not by chance, but by a kind of cosmic alignment that transcends time. It sounds esoteric, but it's purely psychological. The human brain constantly seeks patterns and narratives to make sense of experiences. Let's see how to implement it. When you're in a special moment with that person, you can say something like, "Remember when we met and talked about that book?" It's fascinating how that conversation led us here, and it makes me wonder what we'll be discovering together next year. In this simple sentence, you've connected a real shared memory, past, with the current experience, present, and naturally projected toward a future where you continue discovering things together. Another example might be, "The way we solved that problem today reminds me of when we had to improvise on our first date, when the restaurant was closed. We always find creative solutions together. I imagine we'll be like this even when we're old and have to decide what series to watch on Friday night." This narrative creates a complete temporal arc and establishes a pattern. "We always find creative solutions together" becomes a pillar of your shared identity. Here's a transformative exercise. Identify 3 significant moments you've shared so far. Think about how each of those moments reveals something about the dynamic between you, and how those same patterns might manifest in different future scenarios. It's not about inventing false stories, but recognizing the authentic threads that can naturally extend into the future. Practice this affirmation. Our story doesn't begin today or end tomorrow. It's a continuous narrative that unfolds through time. This mindset will help you see the organic connections between your past experiences and future possibilities. Have you noticed how someone's expression changes when you help them see the invisible thread connecting different moments in your relationship? That look of recognition, that small smile, is the sign that you're creating something much deeper than simple attraction. You're building a shared universe where both of you are inseparable protagonists. If you've been paying close attention up to this point, you now have in your hands the 5 most powerful techniques to make someone unable to stop imagining a future with you. But there's something crucial you must understand. These strategies don't work as isolated tricks, but as an integrated system that completely transforms how that special person perceives you. Let's recap what we've learned. Temporal projection builds a bridge to the future. Creating anticipated memories anchors real emotions to future experiences. Exclusive language establishes a private world between you. Hypothetical questions allow you to actively co-create that future. And temporal synchronization weaves past, present, and future into a coherent narrative. These techniques, used with authenticity, aren't manipulation, but a way to accelerate and deepen genuine connection. As Neil Strauss says, the most powerful seduction isn't getting someone to desire you now, but making them unable to imagine a future where you're not present. If you truly want to implement this knowledge, start today. Choose one of these techniques and consciously apply it in your next interaction. Observe how the dynamic changes. Then, add another technique and another, until this approach becomes second nature to you. Your challenge from today on is to stop trying to impress in the present moment and start building bridges toward a shared future. Comment below. I choose to build connections that transcend time. Let the world know that you're no longer the person seeking immediate approval, but someone who creates deep bonds that project into the future. If this approach has opened your eyes to a new dimension of human connections, make sure to subscribe right now and hit the bell to not miss the upcoming videos where we'll dive deeper into these advanced techniques. Share this video with that person you know needs this information, because transforming a connection from superficial to deep can completely change a life. Remember, the true art of seduction isn't manipulating the present, but creating a future so irresistible that the other person can't help but want to be part of it. And when you master that art, you not only transform your relationships, but you transform yourself into someone whose presence becomes indispensable in others' lives.